To tell everyone the truth, our main character is an extremely attractive and handsome youth. People who don't know might think how wonderful it must be to be handsome, but have no idea how annoying it really is. He had just changed his number, but there were more than a dozen girls trying to add him again. Someone must have spilled the beans. They just wanted him for his looks. If he were to have a chance to encounter with one of them by the side of the road, they would do everything in their power to lock him up somewhere at night and put some sleeping pills in his drink. Sometimes he even starts to wonder if he had a different life, if it would be this annoying as well. He was looking at his phone and crossing the road. Just then he sees a truck coming his way. It was too late for him to get out of the way and was hit by the truck. He died. It was quite a cliché to die by getting run over by a large truck. What's even more cliched is that he did not die completely, and his soul crossed over into another world. How could a pathetic crossing be worthy of someone as attractive and handsome as him, he thought. He sees a person lying on the bed and speculates if that was the person he was about to possess. His clothes were a mess and there was even a silly smile on his face. He looked exactly like him. He thought if he was the other him in this world. Just then a wave of memories enters into him. This man had the same name as he had, Xie Yan, and he was the son of a government official from a small and remote village in the Han Empire. During a spring trip, he had met a beautiful woman named Xie Yan. Due to his love for her, he recklessly followed her to the Mo Zone sect, thousands of miles away. From then on, he got intoxicated with the gentle countryside, and with Xie Yan's nightly debauchery, this unlocking all kinds of poses. Thanks to Xie Yan's day and night cultivation, Xie Yan gradually started to lose weight, but just as before he continued to listen to Xie Yan's every beck and call, and finally he went to sleep and never woke up again. Xie thought that it was an obvious honeypot trap, and that vixen was a practitioner of the demonic path and was draining his life force. He then notices someone coming in. It was Xie Yan and her subordinate. Her subordinate tells her that there has been no change to child Xie since the morning, and she thinks that he was taking his last breaths. But her subordinate thinks that Xie had really drawn the short end of the stick with this one. Even though he's handsome, this man was really dull and unsophisticated, totally unworthy of her lady, Xie. Lady Xie goes to him and tells Yuuru, her subordinate, that he had a virtuous body that was hard to come by even in 100 years. He started cultivating, his advancement to the innate realm would have been inevitable. If he was not raised in such a remote place, he would have already been discovered by various major martial arts sects and accepted as a core disciple. Now that she had used the secret double cultivation method to drain his life force, once she had extracted his life force until he dies and his soul is extinguished, she will be able to seize control of his virtuous body, this truly fulfilling her plan. If he is not dead, then it means that his body still has not been completely run dry, and she will have to come to drain his life force a few more times, and if he is dead, then she will just dispose of his body. Wait a minute, Xie was surprised. What gives? Come on now, how is he going to? Just then he was pulled inside his new host body. He tried not to get in that body but could not. He opens his eyes and springs up, shocking the lady. He is then startled by what to say. Xie looks at him in shock and catches his neck. Xie was afraid if he would be seen right through. He then tries to recall how the original owner would have spoken to Xie Yan. He grabs Xie's hand and asks what she was doing in his room. Xie also realizes that he had heard nothing and says that she had heard Yuuru saying that her deer was unwell, so she had come to take a look. Now that she knew that he was all right, she told him that she could not set her mind at ease. She says that the head of the sect needed her to go somewhere for a bit and tells him to take a nice rest. She then leans towards him, whispering in his ears that she is going to come by tonight to give him some company. Xie was drooling hearing that. Yuuru was worried if he had heard everything. Xie told her not to worry as she was sure he did not hear anything. She says that he had a weak character and was incredibly naive. He would never lie before her. Since his virtuous body had not been completely wringed dry yet, she plans to drain his life force a few more times until it was. Fortunately for Xie, his acting skills were superb, and he had managed to fool her for now. The memories had almost been completely merged, but this indigenous person was really hopeless. He had been asleep for such a long time and did not even have any decent amounts of information. He only knew that this was a world where martial arts strength was extremely valued, and apart from the mortals, there were practitioners who could freely fly in the sky. These practitioners were divided into the acquired, innate, and the heavenly realms. The 9th layer was the highest layer in the acquired realm. The original owner did not know any other realms. Although he deceived that beach, she was obviously coming to drain his life force again tonight. He plans to hurry up, pack his things and run away. If he stay there, eventually he will be done for. He tries to stand up but falls immediately. His waist was sore and his legs were numb. His body was too weak. He was praying he could escape or else he would die again in that beach's bed tonight. He wonders if there was any other way to save his life. Did not everyone who crosses over have a special ability, a cheat, a system, or something like that? Where the heck were his cheats? The system answers, "Here I am." He was startled by the voice. The system loading was now complete and tells Xie that he was welcome to use it. The system starts up. So, he really did have cheats, but what was this for? His current system was level 0 with unlocked basic functions, skill enhancement. He could upgrade his current skill level by using up origin points pending on the skill. The skill amount of origin points used would be different. Xie thinks that it was awesome and what skill he had, and if he needed to expand one of the tabs to see them. He sees his skill in front of him in a banner. His skill mastery was if Guyan Gong. He was dumbfounded. It was just a worthless method to increase his sex drive. But he only had this one, so he goes ahead and upgrades it. When he was about to upgrade, he saw and noticed that he did not have enough origin points to upgrade. The system prompt was really user-friendly for Xie. He asks the system how he could acquire origin points. Origin points were spent when system functions were used. These were generated when the system absorbs and transforms user-caused disturbances to the natural world. The underlying theory was very complex. In short, the system can collect strong emotions that others have towards the user to acquire a small amount of origin points. Strong emotions towards the user, he thought. He could more or less make out everything else. Then what did these countless realms mean? The system's answer that countless realms encompass the entire natural world. The user could make use of the system to temporarily leave the main world and randomly explore other worlds. Wait a minute, was he referring to the present world? Was it not the Earth? The system answers that this world had already been locked as the main world. Life is too short and he wanted to go back home. By upgrading the system, he would unlock the real travel function. Each time the function is activated, the user will randomly be sent to a different world, among which one of them might be Earth. The system continues, the realm travel function will be unlocked once the system reaches level 1. The current system level was level 0. He then excitedly asks how he could upgrade the system, and how he could use the origin points. The system answered that in order to upgrade the system fragments. When the system fragments were discovered, the system fragments were scattered throughout the various realms. The user must be close to a certain distance before the system can discover them. In other words, it all depended on luck. The system thanks him for using the systems, and to call his system he needed to say, "System panel." Xie thinks that upgrading the system and unlocking the realm travel function depends entirely on luck, so he did not need to ponder over it for the time being. Skill enhancement was the only thing that he could do right now. As for the origin points, he thinks that it will be a piece of cake. Outside his door, Yuaru notices the door opening. She asks Xie what he was doing outside. Xie tells her that he was starting to feel claustrophobic inside the room, so he decided to come out and take a walk. Yuaru insists that Lady Qin had told him to. Just then Xie slaps her and tells her impudently. She was confused, thinking he hit me. Xie then asks if that was how she addresses her betters. He then with an angry face tells her to call him senior. Heading her gained him 0.01 origin points, anger, from Yuaru. Yuaru was mad and shouted, "How dare he hit me!" As Xie thought the most likely to trigger strong emotions was anger. He then asks her if she actually dared to retaliate. He says that he was ill, and his body was frail. In case something happened to him, he asks if she would be able to bear the responsibility. In anger, she hits the column behind her. He had yet again obtained 0.0.1 origin points. To think the servant girl was this strong. It seemed to him that he had to get out of this mess, and he had no choice but to harvest emotions. Xie then asks if she was going to help him go for a walk or not. Hearing that he gets joy origin points from Yuaru. Wait a minute, joy? Xie was confused too. Xie was like, "Don't tells me she was am asterisk." They are then greeted by a blonde-haired girl asking that they were doing and if she had so much time on her. She graciously then greets Yuaru. Yuaru answers that her senior wanted to come out for a walk. All the girls around him were instantly attracted to him and wanted to take a bite of him. Some were afraid if their elder martial sister would tear her mouth for saying that, as he was Sister Qin's. As Xie had expected, they were all just a bunch of wicked beaches. If it were not for draining the life force business, they might have been able to get along quite well, he thought. He then hears a voice from the back, asking if it wasn't Sister Qin's pretty boy. There were 3 men coming, taking how he had been inside of the house for several days and if Qin had already. Just then the other one says that it was only a matter of time. The third one tells that looking at his wrenched appearance, he might not be able to handle her many times. Xie then arrogantly says if those punks had come here to wash their mouths. This makes all 3 of them angry. Xie closes his nose and adds that their mouths were so full of shit, asking them if they rinsed their mouth with shit too. This makes one of them angry. He tells that he was just a scum who did not know any martial arts. Just then Xie interrupts, asking if he actually dared do it. Xie tells that yesterday, his lady had told me that she hated how cowardly he was and that from now on he had to be tougher, and that if anyone dared pick on him, Qin would take out whoever did it. Xie thought that Qin Xinzi was the direct disciple of the Mo Qing sect master, so she must enjoy a privileged standing within the sect. However, she never protected the original owner. To the people who dared to be him, she would handle them. The other guy stops, hearing that he would have to deal with Qin. He then calls him a piece of garbage who was afraid of a single woman and asks if the thing between his legs were just for show. Harvesting origin points from everyone was the true goal of Xie. He then makes them angrier and gains even more origin points. He was not going to let anyone from the sect who humiliated and mocked the original owner get away. He then went to different places, the martial arts training field, the mountain entrance, and made everyone as angry as he could make. He was getting away from all of it, stating that his lady Qin would handle it if they had any problems. At night, he goes through the system pane. He sees that he had gathered 2.012 origin points. He had cursed all of the guys had encountered on the road who had bullied the original owner, and as a result his throat was hoarse, and he had only got 2 origin points. No matter how it was, he could finally improve his skills, which made him excited just thinking about it. he upgrades his Xie Yan Gong skill. After the upgradation, his body felt much lighter. Even though he had only upgraded at one level, it was already at the max level. It was indeed a worthless martial arts technique. There was still one origin point left, so he tried to upgrade it again to see if it worked. It worked! His skill had exceeded the level cap. The system prompts tells that his cultivation realm had advances and acquired a realm first layer. He could not believe that. The door slams open. He looks as if Xie was angry hearing what he had done today. Xie was all in a lovely pose inviting, which made her all shy. Xie asks what he is doing. Xie answers that he had been pondering over some new tricks recently. He says that he is certain that she would like it. She thought that although he was good-looking, he had always been dumb. Was he starting to understand how things work? She wondered. She then goes to check on him on how much he had improved. She sees his abs and thinks that it would not be a waste a bit. She then gets on top of him and they start their business. The next day, she says that he had never thought that he would have improved to that state. He tells her that he was all thanks to the Xie Yan he practiced, from which he found that he was a lot stronger than before. Xie thinks that it was a good thing, as without the skill he would probably have been a corpse by now. She then tells him to be a little bit modest from now on, and grabbing him tells him not to give her trouble and do as he is told. He also wanted to keep a low profile, but unfortunately the system did not want him to. She then goes off telling him that they will continue where they left. He then tells her to take care. She had only patted him and dislocated his shoulder. The difference in their martial arts was too great. Moreover, she had also become suspicious of him, and now was just a warning. Yet he could not falter. He must meet this challenge head-on before that beach loses her patience. He had to collect enough origin points to strengthen his skill and find a way to get out quickly. Xie then goes to train. She had managed to release her internal energy and had now stepped into the 9th layer of the acquired realm. The innate realm was just around the corner for her. Xie had never thought that raising a rank of honeypot, the virtuous body, could be further improved. A single night of joy was far better than the bitter practice. She gave on her maidenhood in exchange for this opportunity, but it was all worth it. Yuuru says that Xie seems to have suddenly become smarter and they should be on their guard. Xie tells that as long as he could not practice martial arts, he had to obey her till death did them apart. A few days later, Xie had knocked on everyone's door for the past days and made their lives a living hell, and managed to gather nearly 10 origin points. Since he had been exploiting all those people, they had gone numb to dim seeing, as he had not seen the origin points rising anymore. It was lonely to be invincible. However, there was not point in collecting points without using them. Since the Xie Yan Gond had exceeded the level cap and can't be upgraded further, he was searching for new technique. Even when he tried, he was not able to learn any new cultivation techniques.
Thank you for joining us in this recap journey. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button. Comment if you have suggestions, want more of the series. Don't forget to share it with your friends. Do subscribe if you want more similar content. This is Universe Nexus, your passport to the immersive realms of anime and manga.